Okay, episode 6. Let's get into it. Before we head over to Cura, which is my slicing software of choice, we have to export as an STL. So let's do that and get on over to Cura. So here we are in Cura. Now just quickly before I open our model, I am using an Ender 3 V3 SE and I am using Ultimaker Cura version 5.9.0. So let's open our file. I only ever open half because I like to mirror, so this is just select the mirror, open another half, and we need to flip that down. Now I'll just set my positioning. This is just how I've decided I do it. I don't think it makes a great deal of difference. It's just the way I ended up preferring to do it. Okay, so I also, once I've done that, I like to set it to the top-down view. Now I'm just going to play a little graphical pre-recorded thing that I've made for anyone that wants to follow along. Just press pause and, you know, fill in your own profile. It certainly works great for me, and it has taken a lot of trial and error, but no doubt there'll be variances, especially between different machines and of course different slicing software. So anyway, I'll let it play and we'll see you on the other side. Okay, so let's just start the slicing. Cool, that is done. I'll save this and I'll get it onto the printer and see you in the workshop. Next step is assembling. Okay, so here we are in the workshop. I'm just gonna crack these straight off the build plate. Perfect. So first step, we're going to trim these adhesion discs off. Actually, I might just... Okay, so yeah, we'll trim these adhesion discs off. Like I said, they trim off really easily. Next we'll pull this the support structure out, the printed support. I've got like a little sharpened screwdriver here. It's not overly sharp, but I've just tapered it down a bit. So now we'll flick these little pieces out here, which will leave that cavity that we'll put our eyelets into. Hopefully the camera's picking up how nicely they come out. And then this internal bit here, It's not quite as easy as normal here because I've got the camera between myself and the lure. I actually just broke one of them tabs off. Whoops. Same again on this side. Right, that one's still good. So there we go. Next step, I've got this board here. This is 400 grit wet and dry. I just give that probably 5 or 10 seconds. Again, pretty awkward, and I just broke the other one off. That's a bugger. But anyway, it's pretty awkward with this camera in between. But that's it for that. Now, you'll feel they just come together really nicely. So the next step, remember the little locating holes that were part of the design, and I've got this. This is a piece of straightened filament, same filament that we printed the lure with. You can see obviously I'm using a clear PLA. So we just need a couple of small pieces here for the locating pins. My hands are pretty shaky. That's normal for me. And then just trim that up nice and close. So you put those pins in the holes. Now there was one thing I forgot to get out. I need a steel ball. Just one steel ball. That's the 5mm ball. Again, we spoke about in our design. So we'll just do a test fit. Make sure this is going to come together nicely before we put the glue on there. Which you can see it certainly does. Now I broke my thing off just being a bit heavy-handed, but when you have got that, it makes life much easier in this part of it. So this is going to be pretty tricky with the camera, but here we go. Shaky hands. Okay, so that's it. We'll place this one back on top here and bring them together nice and quickly and firmly. I normally grab, I've got these pliers ready just to hold it together for 10 seconds or so. That's really all it needs. And then we'll, where those holding tabs were, just trim that. And then what else? What I normally do also, I'll grab a razor blade and just give that a scrape. Just clean all the little daggy bits off. Also cleans any of the super glue that's kind of come out. That's all I do for now anyway. Alright, so now I might actually stop and then restart, and I'll have it zoomed in a little bit just for when we put these eyelets in. We'll go with this one first. See, it just pushes in nice and easily. It's actually a nice fit. One on the end here. There we go. There, and front one. Okay. So now they've all just been pushed in. Now this is, I normally have this little drill. I've just printed a little handle for a drill bit. That just helps just kind of make sure it's clear enough. Now to put our filament through, hopefully goes through at a nice fit. So then you can see that'll just, yeah, that's pretty good. Little loose, but good enough. Now this one. That one, see, that one's a really nice fit. Straight through like that, and then snip it again. And the last one, straight in. Alrighty. So now you can just kind of have a look, make sure you're happy with how straight it is. Looks pretty good to me. I normally just sort of push that one back, push that one down, push that one down. Now we fill these cavities with super glue. This is kind of, hopefully the camera will pick up just how well that super glue gets down and in. Okay, and then we just give them a little wiggle. And it literally, the super glue literally fills that cavity. It makes it really strong. Again, I'll put another link in the description, but I've done a little strength test on this system as a separate video. So if we can watch here. Okay, hopefully the camera picked that up, but you can see it kind of fill that cavity. Again, give it a wiggle, make sure it's right in there. Then the last one. Okay. Let this sit for a few minutes and I'll be back. Okay, so it's only been a few minutes. I'm just gonna now trim these daggy bits off. Get them as close as you can. Like that. Okay, so we're all trimmed up. Now, I normally I've got a little file here. Just see these, the really, where you had those holding tabs, where we had the adhesion discs, and just a little light touch, just on some of the slightly rougher parts. Really bugger all, not much at all. Just that comes off nice. You can feel through the file once you're done. Again, this one. Nice. Probably one across, just a little light bit across the top of the nose here. I really don't give it much at all with the file, because the next step is where you really tidy it up. You'll be surprised how neat it comes. Yeah, so now you can see here, this is just normal emery cloth. I've got a 120 and 240, and that's all I use. So first of all, obviously the 120, and I'm really not putting much pressure on it at all. Just something like that. Then come up around the eyes, around the bib. So you will notice, yeah, there's a few sharper pieces here and there around the bib and the eyes. Just the nature of the FDM printing, really. I've tried a few different things in the slicer setup, so if anyone knows or comes up with a smoother finish, that'd be cool to hear about that. But once you've done the 120, and honestly I don't do much more than that, we get the 240, and then this is what really makes it quite smooth. See, then after this, my next step after this is a two-part epoxy clear coat, which I then will give it wet and dry. So I'll just, a tub of water and a 400 grit and then a 1200 grit wet and dry, and again for no longer than what I'm doing here, and it comes up mint, like super smooth, which you'll see in the next episode. I'll probably give it a little bit more off camera, but that's it. So anyway, thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next one.